All right, I am set up to start my second biochar burn. Last time I quenched it when the temperature started getting up in the 700s and staying there after a long burn. This time I'm going to try something different. If that happens again, instead of quenching it, I'm going to try adding more fuel. The thinking being that the higher temperature is due to the biochar burning, and if I can add more fuel, it will start burning the volatiles in the new fuel, and that will starve the burning biochar and will actually lower the temperature. So it's a little counterintuitive, but adding fuel will lower the temperature due to the limited amount of oxygen available. And also the new fuel will be on top, and the air in this kiln comes in from the top. That's one of the theories here to make this work, is why it's a sheet metal box and not just like a pit in the ground, is when it heats up, the air will move up the sides on both the inside and the outside, and will create a vortex at the top here that blocks air from getting in. And also, as the temperature increases, the vortex increases and the oxygen decreases, and that causes the temperature to go down. So the hotter it gets, the less oxygen gets, causing it to cool down, and that keeps it from overheating into the 700, 800 degrees Celsius range, where it would start to burn the biochar. Right, so this is my initial setup here. I've got a load of fuel in here with some cardboard to get it going, and I have another large pile of wood over here that I've cut. This is a bit bigger than yesterday. It's larger size wood. Lit it off and let it burn for about a minute or so. Temperature got up to about 350. Then I covered it. I've had it covered for a couple minutes now, and the temperature is 483 going up. About 10 minutes in now, and the temperature went up to about 500 and then dropped to about 400. So it's doing good. It's got that kind of dark orange flame, mostly clear smoke. My initial load of fuel has been burning now for about 35 minutes. The temperature went down to about 400 and stayed there for a while, and then slowly started to drift up. And then it went to about 550, and then kind of hung out there for a while, and now it's drifting back up again. It's at 600. So I'm going to try adding some more fuel. I'm going to add bigger logs this time and see if that can get the temperature to go back down. This is what it currently looks like. So you can see here, as soon as I put the new wood on, the smoke becomes thick and cloudy, and the temperature does go down. It's now 475 and going down pretty fast. But there are still flames in here, so we'll see what happens. It's been about 30 minutes now since I added the load of fuel, and the temperature initially went down to about 400, came up to about 500, stayed at 500 for quite a while, and then gradually went up to like the high 600s, and spiked to 750, came back down to the low 600s, and now it's going up again. So it's 729 right now, and which is hotter than I'd like it to be. I've sealed it up as good as I can, so I need to come up with a design that's better at sealing, because I've got this main gap right here. There is a limit on how hot it gets, because when it gets up into the 750s, it starts smoking with a cloudy smoke, and it kind of chokes off. It does work, it chokes off the oxygen. It's just not sealed tight enough. Okay, the temperature was staying steady at about 750, which is what I didn't want to happen. It's going to start turning the biochar to ash, and it was sustaining there, and I didn't have any way to close it up any better. So I popped the cover off and dumped about a half gallon of water on it. And that brought the temperature down to about 560. And the smoke is turning cloudy, and I'm gonna watch it. This is not really the way I would like to do it. I'll have to try this again with a cover that fits tighter, so I can control the air better. So here you can see the vortex. The smoke's a little more cloudy. You can see it's sort of spinning. It comes out of the kiln and then starts this kind of swirling that extends maybe a foot and a half out from the kiln. Okay, I am about an hour and a half into this burn, about an hour since I added the additional load of fuel, and after dumping that half gallon of water on it, it did knock the temperature down, and it's been steady, 520, so that worked. Okay, it's now about 3 hours into the burn. The temperature stayed around 500 for most of that time, and then started to drift down, got around 350, at which point I could have added more fuel to it, but I decided to just end it here. This is what I ended up with after dumping some water on it. You can see there is a fairly good amount of biochar in there, and also some of the big wood here that didn't burn. So that's it for number 2 here.